They mostly from artist reference, a couple from photos. See if I can apply that really quickly. We did skulls yesterday. Briefly go back to skulls sort of tomorrow. Get to the muscles. To be working from imagination a little bit. Hello. About each of these very carefully. A little big. There we go. I think that's better. Should we draw hair today? That's a good question. Face here, baby. True. on the head a little bit, so it's ears are gonna be elevated. Hey Akil, how's it going? Told you I'd do one of these in the morning. Not that well, it's rainy season here. I'm being haunted by my allergies. It's 9:42 at night here. Oh, damn. Sorry you're being haunted by your allergies. I actually have allergies too. I had a few years back, I had a cold, and then a tickle in my throat just remained, and it has never gone away. And I've never been able to pinpoint what the allergy is, so I'm just always allergic to something. It's really annoying, so I totally understand. Suffering with you. It's actually been better lately, but definitely still bothers me a lot from time to time. Right, I think we managed to do this okay. It's not perfect. Same as mine. I've had it for 10 plus years. Started as a rash. Now it's been with me ever since. Yeah, it's crazy how that works. I don't know why that happens. Your body just decides to have an allergy one day. I guess. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah. Just trying to be more consistent with these. Female faces are so much harder, especially those round ones. Super difficult. Still think her face is too big. I should have cut it in like that. Try to cut this in. I don't know. Probably it's the lips. I don't spend too much time here. Yeah. All these like subtleties. These faces, like if the placement is not right just by like a tiny bit, there's a little bit of extra space in here, and here, 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 and it just all adds up, making something wonky looking versus really nice. Okay. Kind of got hard for me to pick up drawing lately. I had to take a break from it, but now I'm okay. That's good. What helped you get back into it? This is kind of similar to what I just did. I'm try to do this from the other side. I've also been drawing his, but all of them look the same no matter what tutorial I watch, it's still the same. Do they look like you? I remember a lot of people always have that problem where it's the heads look like them or somebody who they're related to because you have similar features. Might be a little challenging, so let's try this out. This guy's head's way too big. Had to go to dinner. Bye. May join after I finish. Alright, man. Catch you later. Wally? How's it going? Let's get the hair here. Trying to draw this head from the opposite side because I already kind of drew one. That's a similar position, so it's making this slightly more challenging than usual. Section gonna be here. You doing anything for the holiday, Wally? Oops. Stick these in the middle. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. What brush are you using? It looks very nice. This is really it's the most basic. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, it's the in thick paint, and it's just the round mixing brush. Just a standard brush. I'm say I'm super new, but I am new to using Clip Studio, so I haven't really experimented with using any brushes. But even when I was using Photoshop, I used just the regular brush because I like how it looks. So I like how this looks too. Oh, Terry, you're learning. How about you? I am learning too. Just trying to do the heads. I did skulls yesterday. See him up here. So now I'm doing heads, and then tomorrow I'm gonna try to relate some of that information back to each other. How's it going, Terry? You doing anything in this holiday? It's a little big. I'm really bad at hair, so please be kind in your judgment. It's one thing that I gotta really single out and get better at here. But my focus is mostly on the structure right now, so we're just gonna focus on that as much as possible. Not try to get lost in the details of the hair. I got a new sketchbook, about to throw it down. Nice. How you doing? How'd it go with the Ichigo session? Did you get to look the way you wanted? Ichigo. I'm not sure which session that was. Let's see. Probably not. If you're talking about this, kind of looks like Ichigo, but you know, I'm gonna be doing that. Next is focusing on those key characters in the beginning of Bleach: Ichigo, Orihime, Chad, Rukia, and Ishida. All right. profile. That's cool, you got a new sketchbook. Hi, Keel. How was dinner? You ate dinner late, man. It's like almost 10 o'clock for you. Yeah, but yeah, that one didn't really turn out looking like Ichigo, unfortunately. It kind of does. Well, I should say this. It does look like him, but it's not what I wanted. But I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. Difficult. About getting back to drawing, it's a constant notification from art channels that got me into drawing. Yeah, I suppose that's one way to do it. We usually have it around 9:30. Oh wow, yeah, that is pretty late. I have dinner at like 5:30 now nowadays. I'd feel full when I went to sleep if I had it that late. Terry, thanks for doing sketches on my iPad. Yeah, I actually bought a sketchbook too. I've been drawing in it a lot more than I thought. I think there's so much pressure to like make your sketchbook super pretty that kind of turned me off from using one. Okay, why does this look weird? It's like I'm looking at it from, I suppose I am, somewhat of an upward angle. But yeah, that's why I kind of put that down. But I'm glad I picked it up again too. It is fun. I know you can't see this girl's you can't see these eyebrow or these details, but I like to draw it in because it helps later. And I am not drawing that hat because I don't think it looks very nice. I think I drew that at too steep of an angle. There we go. Wally, just once I really love and enjoy your content, even though I discovered it like 2 days ago. by YouTube Shorts. Oh, thanks, man. I'm trying my best. Shorts are such a great way to get discovered, but I don't know why I have so much trouble just like sitting down to make them. Should be easy, right? It feels so much more complicated than it needs to be. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm gonna make more stuff. I want to make like tutorials and things like that, so it's not just me drawing. I feel like people, you know, they deserve some tutorial content. I cannot relate my head drawings to anyone I know that much. I think it looks like Sirius Saitama without hair, and with hair it looks like a man who didn't get enough sleep. Okay. I can help you with that. Let me finish this head and I'll give you a little mini tutorial that can hopefully help you with likeness of heads. My teacher gave this to us. It's about the skull structure. So if you pay attention to that, probably will be able to change the likeness a little bit. There. It doesn't look bad necessarily, just doesn't quite look like her. It's in the eyes. It doesn't quite look like her. It's not really helping. I'm gonna take it as a win. Oh, wow. I should really fix this eye. Okay, we're gonna do it. give it one more try. Space between here. Normally don't want you to lose the lasso tool, but I'm gonna just smush it to see if it makes a difference. It does, but it still doesn't look like her. The nose is too big. This space is too big. I'm telling you, all those little subtleties, they matter a lot. Here, for educational purposes, we can smush that down. That down. Remove this down. She's got too big of a chin. Oh, why? I'm just gonna leave it. Okay. How long am I gonna be on today? For another hour, I think. Yeah. For another hour. We'll be taking a break here in a minute. But I can answer questions and stuff. What's your advice to someone who's a beginner trying to get better? A couple things. I would, and Akil, I'm gonna get to your likeness thing. Give me one sec. But yeah, if you want to get better, I would do a couple things. Make a course for yourself, whether it be whatever you want to study, like anatomy, or anatomy is always an easy one for me because I want to do character design, right? So you gotta start. If you're a beginner, you're gonna have to start at the beginning. If you're, haven't drawn anything at all, maybe you want to start with something slightly simple, like perspective. But honestly, I think it's important to get right into drawing the things that you're going to be drawing. A lot of people like to spend way too much time drawing like basic shapes and stuff. But you can do that in the context of drawing a figure or something. So yeah, I would design a little curriculum for yourself, however many weeks you want to do it for, and then I would design a specific project. The more specific you get, the easier it is. That's what I'm kind of doing with myself with drawing Bleach. Is fan art is actually really good because, especially if you were, again, I'm gonna relate everything as a character designer because that's what I want to do. But if you use characters that are already designed, especially as a beginner, you don't have to worry about making the designs yourself, which is a whole another set of skills. And you can still learn about design as you're doing it, but doing something like fan art makes you not have to focus on those particular aspects, and you can focus on the things that you're really struggling with, like structure, perspective, the actual anatomy, things like that. So yeah, make a project. Pretend you're like making a book, like people do for, conventions, or just an art book for themselves or something. This is what I'm literally telling you what I'm doing right now. I made a project with Bleach, and I outlined the things that I wanted to put in it. You know, you may get ideas later on, so just like give yourself the number of pages that you want to make. For instance, you make an anatomy course and you say you want to design 4 characters with varying body shapes, so that way you get used to drawing different types of characters. And then you're going to draw them interacting somewhere like a coffee shop or at a carnival or something. For Bleach, I kind of outlined stuff that I wanted to see fan art of with those characters. If you can identify like a theme that you want to run with, that's even better, because that might help come up with imagery and ideas. And then for each idea that you come up with, like I said, if you're as specific as possible, like say you I want to draw Ichigo studying, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but I know that I want to do something with that idea. I can study, you know, the inside of what his room would look like, and that's going to be very specific. It's going to be a boy's Japanese room, and you can look for pictures of that and study that, and that's very, very specific. And then as you start to, you know, study those environments, you're learning something very specific that you can sort of put into your visual library. When you're not specific with things, it's really hard to figure out what to study. Because your choices are endless, right? So as specific as possible. And again, you don't have to box yourself in. You can come up with ideas and take away ideas that you thought would be good and suck. It's just a jumping off point. And then you use this project to create your this kind of book. And at the end of it, you have, you know, if you're a beginner, you may not have tons of exceptional pieces, but I'm sure you'll get a couple that you are proud of, that you can sort of put in your portfolio, improve on later. Not that you're trying to get a job or anything, but at being a beginner, I mean. But you will improve your visual vocabulary and your visual library. That's what I would do. Or that's what I'm doing, actually. Do you have an artist or artists that inspire you? Yeah, sure. Takeshi Obata is probably my favorite artist. He is the artist for Bakuman, although most people know Death Note. If you read, that's a manga. If you read manga, he is absolutely my favorite. Obata's awesome. Yeah. He's awesome. He's really great. I fell in love with him through Hikaru no Go. Death Note was good too, but honestly it wasn't my favorite. I prefer Hikaru no Go and Bakuman. And then for painters, I really like Ray. Oh, you guys aren't going to be able to see that. This piece of reference is from Ray. She is probably, in my opinion, the most incredible living artist. she doesn't need any reference to draw anything. And her compositions and everything are so incredible. Rendering's great. She's one of my favorites. And I honestly, if I could do that, I would be very, very happy. Oh, Ralgrad was awesome too. Platinum was fun, but the art style went back to like the Death Note stuff, and like I said, just not as big a fan of that. Big again. Any advice to stop being afraid to draw in a sketchbook? So things that stop you from drawing are and this is kind of what I try to help people with the most, is like, that's the mental side of stuff. It's not that you can't do it, it's that your brain is stopping you from taking the actions that you want to take. So you need to ask yourself why you won't do it, and you're obviously, it's because, like you said, you're afraid. So you need to ask yourself, why are you afraid of drawing in your sketchbook? For most people, it's, you know, you're afraid of failure or something, and you know, sketchbooks are where you're supposed to fail so you can learn. So sometimes it's just coming to grips with the fact that, like, hey, it's okay to fail, and you need to do that to learn and to grow. Failure is part of the process, not the opposite of growth, or of success, I should say. Okay. Alright, this looks okay. Let me pause with this. I forget. Akil. Oh yeah, it was you who asked about the likeness thing. Okay. So for capturing likeness, I remember my teacher talked about this. There's 3 parts of the skull, or the head, I guess you should say. One is the forehead, the cheekbones here, forehead, this section, and then the jaw, chin area. And when you're trying to achieve likeness, the first thing you want to focus on, honestly, is the silhouette, because the way my teacher described it is like, if you see somebody from far away, like, you're not going to see all this detail of what their head looks like, right? You're just going to see, if you have a spiky haired friend, right, you're going to see this in the crowd, but you're going to know that's your buddy just by his weird hair. And that's why silhouettes are so important, because we read them. They're a quick read and we know what's happening. Then, you know, after this read is the internal shapes. These are your external shapes, and it would also matter, obviously, if like your friend had big jaw or something and he had a giant neck or something like that. He's this really big hair, it looks like a crown. Let's do something more realistic. Okay, right, that's unique enough. But then when your friend gets up to you, right, now you have internal shapes, and as they turn their head left and right, those are, you're gonna see the prominence or not prominent brow, the cheekbone, and the jaw and chin. Have any work online, Wally? Nope. Oh. It's okay, you don't have work online. I don't have lots of new stuff either. It's just all videos. Okay, so let's see. When you look at the skull, you have this section, which is your brow. This is, sorry, a fast drawing. Just trying to do it separated. Teaching drawings are hard, man. Cheekbone. Let's move this sucker out of the way. And then, and jaw. And the way that you draw these things is going to help you capture the likeness. So simplifying those shapes as much as you can. Depends how you're drawing. Obviously, I draw a little bit more realistic, so you're going to see a lot more subtleties and subtle angle changes. With the more cartoony you draw, or the more simplified you draw, essentially, simplification is almost a little bit harder, right? Because you're doing more with, or you're saying more with less. But all these internal shapes matter. If your shapes, even your eyes and stuff, are like round, or maybe they're cut off and more square, right? Same thing with your nose. Like maybe you got a big triangle nose, or a soft round nose. But most of the likeness, again, will come from these three. Because those are our quickest reads. So when you have a realistic drawing like this, you're trying to figure out what their brow is. Sometimes, you know, you can see the brow from the side. But some people have like these protruding brows, right? Sometimes you'll have lots females generally have very subtle brows and foreheads. So this, and then it will like slope backward really quickly. There's so many different variations, obviously. You can tell with like how subtle things can become. So I guess for likeness, to make your characters look different, is try to focus on these three key areas rather than all the features like the nose, the eyes, the lips, and looking for those subtleties of what does this person's cheekbone look like. Like just from here I could make this big wide cheekbone, right? I could come down and make it much thicker, chunkier cheekbone. I could make it tiny. Right? You have control of your character, so you can do whatever you want. Study I mean, there are realistic-ish looking characters that you could study that have different kinds of faces and face structures. You could study from cartoons if you really need that push, and then try to see if you can push it into realism, if again that's the style you're looking for. So I can sort of point it out like as I'm studying this one. I think this guy, I'm already screwing him up, right? This guy has a very subtle brow, at least from the front. If this was a big brow, this line right here would be like swooping out, because it's where the hair is going to follow that bone, but it's not. So that means his brow is extremely subtle, almost like a lady brow. Not that all women have subtle brows, but generally we draw them with more subtle brows. You can see there's no significant like shadow on his brow over here, like sometimes you'll draw, and I did a little bit over here, his brow. Oh, and here. But sometimes you'll see like a shadow, so people really carve out the brow for guys, and it doesn't look bad. So we still see the shadow here, which shows us that yes, he does indeed have a brow, because his eyes are sitting tucked underneath it, but it's subtle. It's not he doesn't have like this chunky brow that needs to pop out. It's just a simple transition that goes in, a simple plane change, and that's it. Same with his cheekbone. It's really subtle. Like if his cheekbone was harsher, it would come in and you would see that difference. I mean, they would draw it so it wouldn't look so insane, but I'm just doing it for emphasis. But you would see his cheekbone come in, right, on both sides, and maybe usually when you get older you have that little sunken look, but everything is subtle. This is kind of the characteristics of anime characters, or realistic anime even. Everything is like simplified for as beautiful as possible looking people. And you get that by making things every soft, nice angles. And that is what I like. So I hope that helps. That was kind of quick, but yeah, over time you're gonna develop taste to what you like to see in your head, so you're gonna change the likeness a little bit always to fit what you like. Like I said, this is my preferred style, so I change things. I even change things when I work on studies like this. If I don't like something, that's perfectly okay. You're not trying to copy, you're trying to study so you can draw the way that you want to draw. Hey, Jano. Come to think of it, I always draw the hairline same in all my head drawings. Yeah, the hairline's actually a really big one. Like you can see this one, I always mask out the hairline. Like there's this general approach when you draw a head. Let's draw from 3/4 real quick, right? And there's this general approach that you do like that, and you know that this is like the mask of the face and the hair starts from there. But then when you actually want to draw the hairline and you look at it, like you can have so many different variations, like a male head that gets this in there, right? And then that for where the ear is, like that's an interesting hair shape, and then you start building on top of it and all the way around to the back, right? Sometimes female hair shapes are more subtle. You'll get something like this that goes like that, right? Finding that hair shape is really important for likeness. That is actually how a lot of people get away with like caricatures and stuff, because you're changing the length of things and you're really screwing with the structure that's there. But important markers like their hairline are really obvious cues that this is the person that we're saying it is. So yeah, fixing your hairline is going to immediately change the likeness of your characters. How's it going, Jino? His head is not quite right. Okay. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the hair here because his hair is just insane. Just draw some spirally hairs. And then some little spiky bits outside here. Again, just trying to get that silhouette so that it reads as hair and not just simple line. And there, mostly done. Looks like the guy. for the most part. Okay. Feels good. I like the style of drawing from Demon Slayer. Also because I think the art is phenomenal. Yeah, Demon Slayer art's pretty cool. So you like drawing in an anime style? Yeah, the tricky part with drawing in anime styles is a lot of, like I said, the more cartoony you get, um, the more simplified everything is. But especially for anime, a lot of the face structure is the same. Oh man, you know, I never took a break, so we're gonna do that real quick. Hang on one sec. I'll answer your questions. But yeah, with anime, a lot of the face structure is the same, and what they change is the internal shapes that I was talking about before. So the hair, very obviously, is one, with the shape of the eyes. And usually the mouth, actually. So a lot of it has to do with eyes and hair. And maybe just the outside structure, like the jaw bit. Depending on the anime, some are a little bit more detailed. Actually doing pretty well with the heads today. They're not coming out perfect, but I also like character concepts from artists working for video games, so they look really good. Yeah, I really liked all the Street Fighter 6 models. That is like my ideal art style, I think. Which you can see, I'm pretty sure that's a fan art of Cammy. But that style just lends itself to marrying like anime type look with realism. Everything, you're not gonna totally see every feature you see there on a human, but because they're a little bit more exaggerated, especially in the eyes. But it's close enough that they feel like real people. They just have that really cool stylized look to them. Usually the hair too. I can see some of that hair on people because it's just perfectly like sectioned out and positioned, and it looks so cool though. So I like that stylized look because it lets you play with really fun things, but still you get to keep that realistic look. What game do you like that you you saw character concepts you liked. Recently saw a bunch of drawings from Rhino Tuna where he took creatures from nature, turned them into human characters. Oh yeah, I've seen him do that. He's done that with a lot of stuff. Like, he'll take like a blackberry and turn it into a character, right? Or like a Coke can or something. I think Rhino Tuna is really good at coming up with concepts and making it match those colors. But they're actually there's a school that teaches that really well. I think the one thing that he doesn't do when he does that is uses like a lot of their shape language. Not that you're supposed to do it necessarily, but that is part of the goal when you study like that. Because it was still really cool, but like the one that he did of I think it was a blackberry, was just a person in like a black outfit. The blackberry is black, obviously, so there's not really too much you can do with it, but usually you try to extract the shape from what you're studying. So there's a lot of like circular, they're kind of like small beads in the blackberry, so I would have liked to see him do that. But it still looked cool, so I can't really complain too much. And there are other artists that do extract the shape language and do that way. But yeah, Rhino Tuna he's a good artist. He makes really interesting stuff. Visually impactful stuff. Probably have some of his stuff saved, honestly, as like reference. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. This is the best time, so I'm not focusing super hard on the drawing. Did Keel, did the part about the likeness help at all? You're gonna try to draw some people with different hairlines. Character concept, like the final boss from a game called Grim Soul. Elden Ring, Sekiro. Oh yeah, yeah. Bosses from the From Software games are cool. I don't know the mobile game that you mentioned, but yeah, some of those bosses from like Elden Ring and stuff have really great designs. I liked the I don't know if you remember him, the NPC with the big hat. You have to like do a huge quest line before you can get his gear. It almost looked like little Sharingan things in his hat. It looked so cool. It was metal, but I wanted that hat. I think I got it eventually. You had to fall into the snowy area. Can't wait for the download content for that game. It's gonna be so good. Might just play through the whole thing again. It was a long game though. That might not be the best idea. Hi Wally. Have I studied drawing animals? Not too much. I took a course about it a little bit. I have drawn some of them. It's been a long time since I've drawn any animals. I think it's a good way to help reinforce your anatomy knowledge, though, like for human figures, because a lot of it is very similar. So learning about, the bones of animals and their muscles and stuff will help just reinforce all of the human anatomy that you learn. It would definitely be helpful if you learn them at the same time. Shabiri from Elden Ring, or the other wizard guy. Let me see. Shabiri. Oh yeah, it is Shabriri. Yeah, his hat is so cool. That guy's awesome looking. Whoever made that hat. Genius. Have you studied animals, Wally? Animals are fun, but they have their own complicated parts as well. And they're definitely more, their movement is more dynamic, I would say, when you're first like learning about them. There are subtle movements, of course, but like if you're trying to draw them in motion, they have very dynamic movement, but that is part of what makes it really fun to draw them. They have really nice lines and shapes to get used to, and will probably help you make your human figure drawing more dynamic. So, like I said, good to study them both. I definitely want to study animals though, so see it at some point here, sure. But right now, human anatomy. That's what we're going for. Might draw some it's called anthropomorphic. It's like when you have human animals. That would be fun. Because you can play with the face structure and everything. And that'll help me understand faces a little bit better. Have not, but I'm planning. Kind of afraid of studying drawing fur. I wouldn't worry about the fur part of it. If you saw when I was drawing the last guy, the fur is like part of the silhouette and the internal shapes, so you really have to worry about that more when you're doing like a finished drawing or painting or something. Because you can treat it like a smooth surface when you first draw it, and then you just add little like hair tails kind of thing when you're done with it, and that will add to the silhouette and they look furry. You either make big chunks of hair or tiny little fur pieces depending on what kind of animal you're trying to draw, but you'll immediately make the silhouette look like fur, which will read the entire figure as fur. So you can draw them as like smooth, like if you're trying to draw a furry leg, for instance, you can draw it as just a smooth line and then go back in after and just add a couple of like tail ends of the hair, and then all of a sudden it will read like fur. And yeah. And then of course, like I said, it gets complicated when you want to paint it or make a finished drawing or ink it or something. Oh, I think we're done. Draw again. Sign of Crucible Knights looks so cool. I have a hard time drawing things like armor. Crucible Knights? What is it? Familiar. Oh yeah. Oh, these guys wouldn't be too hard to draw. They're very geometric looking. I think the hardest thing, especially as a beginner, when you look at complicated things like that, it feels like it's impossible to draw, right? but it's really just about simplifying as much as possible when you don't understand things. So, like, the Crucible Knight is literally like this box cylinder head with horns. Whoop. Right, that's the head. And that's the head of a Crucible Knight. Like, you don't need to get too complicated, just simplify things out first, however you need to. And then they're boxy chest, boxy arms. I don't remember what they look like, so but yeah, simplification is the name of the game. You simplify stuff and you will have a lot better time. Do you recommend any specific art courses? Did you maybe try Skillshare? For drawing, I haven't done Skillshare. I'm actually using a Skillshare course right now to learn After Effects. And that's been fairly helpful. Not for drawing though. It's kind of hard. A good teacher is very difficult to find, in my opinion. There's a lot of art courses online nowadays, and just because of the sheer number of them, there are more bad ones than good ones. So finding somebody that is reputable and known to be really helpful is going to be really important. And that can be difficult too, because people say good reviews on Skillshare stuff and they don't really know what makes a good teacher, and they're just going off of their own experience. Not that those reviews are not helpful. Skillshare is definitely a less risky investment because you don't have to worry about losing money necessarily, especially with all the free trials you could possibly do with them. I went to Concept Design Academy in Pasadena, and I really loved them. Obviously, that's an in-person thing, so if you can't do that, it's not really helpful. The only class that I know that is really good is a color and light class, and I would say that's not necessarily for beginners. This is gonna be smaller. Let's go. Sorry, I can't really help you with the classes. I'd like to put together some kind of like master list of classes, but I feel like I would need to take the class in some sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't want to recommend a class without knowing what it was like myself. There really is no replacement for a good teacher, but a good teacher, again, it's just hard to find. I gotta go, man. It's 11 here now. It's raining heavily. Had a good time here. Thanks for the advice. Keep up the good content. Thank you, Akil. Have a good night. I'll catch you again later. These end up making things way too big at first. Kind of a funny thing about drawing. You put something down in order to see if it's right, and then eventually you just start getting it right from the beginning. I am not fortunate enough to do that quite yet. I still screw up. That looks wonky. So it almost does need like a little... That's interesting. Okay. I learned something just now. I almost always would cut across here with the eye, but actually bringing it up a little before you come down, because it's an orb inside your skull, actually helped. Space is gonna scooch up even more. Get the 3D nature of this lip right. Lost my music. Let's try this again. There we go. I also gotta go. My sickness is killing me. Oh, Wally, I'm sorry. I had a good time here. Thanks for all the advice and answering my question. Of course, Wally. I hope you show up again, and I hope you feel better, my friend. It's not fun to feel sick. Get better soon. Cross my fingers so my electricity doesn't get cut by the thunderstorm coming soon. I hope it doesn't. In. It's be nice out today, actually, here too, but it is, or it was a lie, because it is cloudy and gross. So I don't have to worry about thunderstorms, but it's not nice out either. Eyes might be a little big for her here, but you know, be pretty good. If I was I think it's because I originally had the head really big. Let's try to match that. Eyes do still work. They're not big, actually. It looks good. I still have so many heads that I want to draw here. Let's see. Too many, apparently. Hmm. Let's do it. Difficult angle. Not that one. This could be challenging. Man, it looks hard as hell. Alright, let's try it. Alright, I gotta stop doing that. Okay. Uh, my music. that. That's pretty good. That actually. Fix that. How to defeat the animals. Where are these characters from? I don't know actually. I think Slam Dunk. They were just really well drawn and from a difficult angle. I really want to read Slam Dunk actually, or watch it or something. I've heard lots of good things. I just never have had the opportunity. Oh god. Thank you. Forgot to turn it back down. That's my bad. Well, you see the important part, which is the drawing, right? I'm less important, but I appreciate it. So, what animals do you have? I have a dog myself. Nice, that one came out pretty good. Two dogs and two mini pigs? That's cute as heck. Alright. I think we have to stop there. That's not bad. How many skulls did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I suppose that makes sense. Skulls are a little bit less complicated than heads. Thanks for tuning in, Terry. I'll be doing this a lot, so we'll be back and doing heads from imagination and all that. So, and then moving into painting next week. Ugh. Should be great. I'm actually a little nervous, but I'm sure it'll be fine. All right. Have a good day, Terry. And anybody else who's watching. Well, I'm pretty sure it's just us now. Everybody else went to bed. Talk to you later. See you.